Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Bellis, and welcome to my channel. I teach Qigong, and my tagline is aging well is a practice. And I really feel strongly about that aging well is a practice because we're really never really taught how to age well. We're taught all other kinds of things of, how to be a child and how to be an adult. But then we get to a certain age and we're kind of like, okay, now what do I do that's appropriate for my age? And I'm talking about over the age of 55, and that's mostly who I teach to. I'm in my late 60s, and I have a very different body than I did when I was in my 50s. So aging well is a practice. Qigong is a perfect practice to age well because it includes thousands years old philosophy that has been time tested, that is proven to work. And it's all about self-care. Qigong is all about learning how to self-care. My last video was on learning how to meditate. And meditation seems to be, of all the practices that I teach, meditation seems the hardest to practice. And it is the most beneficial of so many practices because it quiets down the nervous system. And that's what I want to talk about today. I gave some instructions that I will add the link to that you can review about how to come into a meditative practice. And I'm building up on that. But what I really want to focus on today is the vagus nerve. Now you probably have used this phrase or heard this phrase is you're getting on my nerves. You're just like really getting on my nerves. And that's usually not a positive thing when somebody says that to you. That means that you're nerved out, that you're stressed out. And most of us are stressed out. I mean, that's life. If you're living life, you're probably going to be stressed out at some time. So not that there's anything wrong with being stressed out, but being stressed out continuously 24/7 is not a good thing because stress creates a lot of inflammation in the body. Inflammation causes a lot of diseases. There's so many autoimmune diseases right now that scientists have proven a lot of it is due to stress. Things like especially IBS, stomach issues, MS, Parkinson's disease, celiac disease. Those are all from overstimulation to the nervous system. Now we have the nerves. There's two kinds of the longest nerve in the body is your sciatica, and that runs from your lower lumbar spine all the way down to the legs. For the brain, the longest nerve in the brain is your vagus nerve, and it starts from the back of the head at your occiput bone. It's a very hard bone in the back of the head. You can even feel it. It starts there, it wanders through the ear, comes through the jaw, comes down your throat, comes down through all the organs, and it wanders. It's called the wandering nerve. Vega in Latin is wandering. It wanders, it's a very long nerve, into the digestive system. So that's part of your rest and digest. So they're doing a lot of study on vagus nerve stimulation. Google it. There's so much information out there. But the vagus nerve is the holy grail for learning how to rest your body. They call it rest and digest because it calms your body down when you stimulate it. And when you calm your body down, like I just spoke of, it calms down that inflammation in the body that causes diseases. So why wouldn't we want to focus on that on a daily basis, such as, a meditative practice? So in my other video, which I said I'll link on this particular video, you take baby steps with learning how to do a meditation. And and there's anchors, we call them anchors in meditation, things that's going to anchor you to a practice. And I've gotten it down to no more than 5 minutes, being able to do this practice in 5 minutes. So this video is going to be about, again, reviewing from my last video of how to come into a meditative practice, the precursor to a meditation practice, I should say, and focusing on the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the holy grail of the nerves that help calm your body into a parasympathetic nervous system. So the nerves are part of your nervous system. We have a parasympathetic nervous system that helps with your rest and digest. Vagus nerve, rest and digest. And then we have a sympathetic nervous system, which is part of the fight and flight system, which means, which we need it. We need that in case of an emergency. Sympathetic nervous system is for emergencies. Sympathetic nervous system is not to be, you shouldn't live in that system constantly. That's where it breaks down your immune system also. So the sympathetic nervous system is fight and flight, which means if you're in an emergency situation and you need to charge at something, you've heard of stories where mothers see their kids getting run over by a car and they could actually pull the car up by themselves. That's part of your fight and flight. Cortisol hormone kicks in and you're able to take care of dangerous situations. So we need that. But the rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system, is something you really want to learn about. And it's so easy to do. It's so easy to tap into this and use it for your self-care. So I call it self-care for your life, self-care for your health care, or coming up with a plan for your lifespan. So again, talking about aging, aging well as a practice, really understanding this particular principle, understanding what the vagus nerve does and how to stimulate it, it's going to make a huge difference on your health. So the vagus nerve, since the vagus nerve wanders from the back of the head and it comes through the ear and it comes through your jaw and it comes down your esophagus and then it wanders around to the digestive system. So the first thing when you stimulate, and there's been a lot of study about this, they're using actual stimulation to that part of the brain to stimulate that that vagus nerve with different, tools. But you can actually do this without that. So how do we stimulate the vagus nerve? Well, one is learning how to meditate. So I think it's so important to learn this practice. Two is chanting, which we do in Qigong, humming, which we do in Qigong, singing, which chanting I consider kind of singing, though most people can't sing, they're tone deaf, but humming and chanting is just as powerful. Those things, when you think about it, it's all part of your larynx. So again, that vagus nerve is being stimulated. Remember, it comes through the ear, comes through the jaw, comes down into your larynx, where when you hum and when you sing, stimulates that part of your body, which is stimulating your vagus nerve. If it's coming through your ear, when we hum, we do humming also in Qigong. You close, and we're going to practice this. You close your ears off and you hum. Also stimulates the ear where the vagus nerve is coming through. Also stimulates again the throat where that vagus nerve is coming through. And then it comes through the jaw. So also that stimulates singing, humming, all that kind of stuff, stimulates the jaw as well. But another thing that you can do to stimulate that vagus nerve in the jaw is to lift the corners of your mouth up into that inner smile. And you're simply, every time you smile, you're triggering that vagus nerve to stimulate. Then it wanders through the heart. So it's wandering through the lungs. So another thing to correct or to do correctly is to breathe deep, deep into the belly, deep into the rib cage, deep into the upper chest, feeling that whole part of your body breathing. Because when you're breathing fully and deeply, you're getting all that stimulation, you're expanding that part of the region of your body where your digestive system is, where your nervous system is, where your heart is, where your lungs are. And that helps to stimulate the vagus nerve as well. So breathing fully and deeply, understanding that principle. Again, that's on my first video about breath work. The other thing that stimulates the vagus nerve is massage, whether you go for a professional massage or if you massage yourself, bringing your hands to your heart space, which I talked about, just that the act of touching, the heart space, touching your body, you're stimulating your nervous system, you're stimulating that vagus nerve again. The other thing that you can do to stimulate the vagus nerve, as soon as you wake up in the morning, is splash cold water on your face. It does a couple of things. For one thing, it kind of wakes you up. And again, it stimulates that vagus nerve instantly. So splashing cold water. Now, some people take it as far as doing cold baths, cold showers. But you want to be careful with that, especially as an older person, that could be a little too jarring. It could actually overstimulate you. So I always recommend just put some cold water on your face or take some cold compresses and put them on the back of your head, the back of your neck to gently stimulate that vagus nerve. Some other things that we can do that I might be missing. So deep breathing, massage, meditation, exercise regularly. That's why people feel so good when they exercise, because you're stimulating that vagus nerve. It is all the stimulation of the vagus nerve that helps you feel good. Chanting, I talked about, humming. We also do in Qigong, we tap, and I'm going to do a third video about how to tap, how to shake, also to regulate that, stimulate that vagus nerve. The cold water immersion. I'm listening to music also, but music that's soothing, not too jarring, can also stimulate that vagus nerve. So just listen, or making music, making your own music. Let's see what else. So it also helps when you do this, when you stimulate the vagus nerve, it helps to slow down your heart rate, and it starts to quiet down that cortisol drip of your hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. Again, you need it. You need cortisol to spike in the morning so you wake up. But again, you don't want to stay. Cortisol is for fight or flight. It's for waking up in the morning. You don't want to be in cortisol drip all day long. You're going to have a hard time sleeping at night. It's going to cause a lot of inflammation. So the other hormone that helps to calm you down is oxytocin. That's the love hormone. When you fall in love, you click on that oxytocin hormone that helps to quiet the system down. You have endorphins when you're exercising that clicks into your body. And that's why all these things are so powerful. You're working that vagus nerve. Now, a lot of people don't explain that to you. They don't talk about the vagus nerve, but all those other things I just talked about will help stimulate. That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this. That's why you feel good after you meditate. That's why you feel good after you exercise. That's why you feel good after you sing or you chant or you hum. That's why you feel good after a massage. That's why you feel good after somebody gives you a hug. You're activating that vagus nerve. Now, the vagus nerve looks like a spaghetti, like a piece of linguine. It's not quite as thick, but your nerves are your energy packs. They're your electrical impulses between your brain and the rest of your body. So what you think you will feel in your body. They call this the rest and digest nerve because it quiets down the digestive system. So if you're struggling from any kind of stomach issues, and so many people do, it's not only from the foods you're eating, it's also from the stress you're holding on to that's affecting your digestive system. So you rest the head, you rest the brain, it wanders through, that nerve wanders through into the digestive system, and it quiets down that digestive system so you can properly assimilate food, digest your food. So if you are having over stimulation, not the good stimulation, like overly taxed, overly stressed, it's going to affect your digestive system. You're going to have issues. So the vagus nerve, really get familiar with this and then understand the principle of it. And then you can add practices to help stimulate the vagus nerve to help with overall health, your brain and your body. So the vagus nerve signals that help is on the way, and it helps you to feel sensations. It's the electrical impulses between your brain and the rest of your body. So we're not just our body. We are our brain. We are our body. We have lots of bodies. We just don't have this form body that we live in. We also have a brain body. We also have a spirit body. We also have an energy body. All that energy that's around us, all that energy that's in us, everything is energy. And energy wants to move and it has to move. And that's kind of the principle of practicing Qigong. Qi means energy, Gong means cultivation. So we cultivate the energy, we balance out the system. And these are principles that you can easily do. So in my last video, I'm preparing the body and the mind and the moment to come into a quietude. Now you can refer back to that video to get a little bit more explanation of the steps that I take, but I'm adding one more today, and we're going to practice this today. And then my next video is going to be a physical, actual movement practice to add to this whole thing about the vagus nerve and rest and digest. But the thing that I want to add today, and these are called anchors. These little things I call them anchors to get you into that quiet space to help you start maybe a meditation practice, a longer meditation practice. I teach it in bite-sized pieces because I think that's the easiest way. It's very hard to just sit still and just do nothing. I think That's the hardest thing for anybody. So, and that's not what really meditation's about. But we're going to slowly get in there and we're going to use these elixirs, the meditation, the breathing, the touching, intention, humming, chanting. We're going to use all these elixirs and we're going to put them in one package so you can feel your best self in 5 minutes. So the other anchor I want to add to this one is humming. I had mentioned humming because humming stimulates the vagus nerve because you're activating the ears, which the vagus nerve runs through the ears into the jaw. You're activating the jaw. You're activating your throat. So this starts to stimulate the entire system. So we'll start with humming to experience. If you never have done this, I always tell people just experience it, do it a couple of times, and then just noticing how you feel afterwards. And if it feels good, then maybe it's right for you. If it doesn't feel good, maybe you're not ready for it. Maybe you don't want to do it. But if you're thinking about starting a meditation practice in any sort of way, this is a great place to start. So rather than me calling it meditation, I call it taking a pause. Just taking a pause out of your day to reset your nervous system, to reset your breath, to reset your body in a moment in time so you can level off and you can move on through your day, not feeling this like intensity all day long. Now, you might be used to living that way. I mean, it's okay, and you could do it when you're young, but it's going to show up later. It will show up in ways your body can't take it anymore. So it's better to learn it sooner than later. You're never too old to start something. You're never too young to start something, but this is a great time to try. Okay, so we'll start with first just finding your seat. Now I'm on a chair and my feet are touching the floor. My sit bones are touching my chair. The crown of my head is lifting up. So we've got this elongating the spine. Support your back with something. Now you can also do this lying down. I prefer, like if you're not feeling well, you might want to just lie down. So you could try different ways. It's also nice to try to get yourself to sleep too if you're lying down. A couple of caveats to this. You can do this with your eyes closed or softened. You don't want to do this with eyes wide open because you want to start to slow down the extra stimulation from around you. But for some people, when they close their eyes, they feel like they're going to sleep. Because that's what you do, right? You close your eyes, you go to sleep. So that might make you sleepy. If that's you, then you just soften the eyes. So there's just a sliver of light coming in so you don't fall asleep. So just wanted to mention that right up front. So a lot of people get sleepy from this, and I think that's why, because they're closing their eyes and the brain's going, oh, we're going to sleep now. So because the brain's familiar with stuff, we want to make this as simple as possible for your brain. So I always have people pick one word that's going to describe what kind of feeling they want to get. So it could be something like calmness, peacefulness, happiness, joy. Usually, it's a positive thing. Mine's flow. Flow is more of a kind of a feeling of just releasing for me. It could be release, but you want to pick one word, and it might take you some time to figure out that one word that describes the feeling that you want to conjure up from learning to practice like this. Relaxation, again, compassion. So first you find the word. First we hum, we stimulate the vagus nerve, get the vagus nerve going, then we come up with one word that we're going to use. This is going to make sense when I take you through this. And then these are all the anchors. We're anchoring into this practice. And then the next anchor would be touching your heart space, turning on oxytocin, the love drug, because this is your heart. Your heart holds love. How appropriate that I'm wearing a heart today. It's also Valentine's Day tomorrow. So we're touching that part of our body that conjures love, because love triggers that oxytocin hormone that makes you feel well, makes you feel happy. Then we go into the next anchor where we're anchoring into our breath. So we bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the upper chest. We anchor into feeling the breath coming into the belly, the ribs, and the upper chest. Remember, I had spoken about in the beginning of this video that deep breath opens the body nice and wide. This whole part of your body where all your organs are sitting, it creates a lot of great oxygen in your system as well. Breathing is going to breathe in the oxygen. You exhale out slowly through the mouth, which is very, very helpful. That helps to release the toxins of carbon dioxide out also. So that's another four, that's the fourth anchor. And then we come to the fifth anchor where we're just going to count to 9. One count, no, one count is an in and exhale. And I will guide you through this. Now, you might have a different pace in your breath and you'll have to find your own rhythm eventually, but I'm just going to lead it for you. And then once you count to 9, you can go to another count of 9, or just once till 9 might be all you need. But we'll try to do at least 2 sets of counting to 9. And then I'll guide you out of it. So again, those are all anchors to get you into that quiet zone, to turn on your vagus nerve through the humming, turning on that vagus nerve through smiling, turning on the vagus nerve through breathing, turning on the vagus nerve through chanting, which we won't do in this practice today, but for sure humming, turning on the vagus nerve through well, the meditation itself will turn on the vagus nerve. And then the other stuff, the different movements like the shaking and the tapping, I'm going to do in another video. But for today, we're just focusing on getting into that pause feeling of just stopping everything for 5 minutes and regulating our nervous system. Okay, so let's begin. So you can close or soften your eyes. If you need to still look at me, just close. We're going to start with humming. So just place your hands, close off your ears, and it's going to sound like you're in the bottom of a pool, but you're going to feel the vibration from humming, and you're going to simply hum. You inhale through the nose and then you hum. We'll do 3 times. So begin. Inhaling. Hmm. That's 1. Here's 2. Hmm. 3. Hmm. Then release. Bring your hands to your heart. Start to connect with self-love, love in general. You could use the word love. And then come to a word. You pause for this moment for what? What do you need to add, to bring into your life? It could be calmness, relaxation, compassion, whatever you need. And you might not know the word now, but you eventually will figure that out. But for now, just say what comes to mind and say it a few times to yourself. Close or soften your eyes. Feeling that space at your heart. Breathe into that space. Get familiar with this space. You can repeat the word love a few times, turning on that oxytocin. You're going to lift the corners of your mouth up into that inner smile, again, activating the vagus nerve. So inner smile, soft eyes or closed eyes, hands to heart, heart space. Then taking one hand to your belly, keeping one hand at your heart, at the upper chest. And we'll reset the breath. So as you inhale, feeling the belly filling up with breath, your rib cage up into the chest. And then when you're ready, you exhale from the chest, from the ribs into the belly. So getting familiar with this deep breath, inhaling into the belly, into the rib cage, into the upper chest. There's a little bit of pause at the top. And then as you exhale, you're exhaling from the chest, from the ribs, and then the belly. So take a few of these breaths. You're resetting. Might be a long time since you've was breathing this way. So get familiar as you turn on that vagus nerve. Now the next anchor will be the count to 9. So we'll inhale into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. That's 1. Hold the breath. Exhale 1 from the chest, from the ribs to the belly. When you're ready, inhale 2 into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. Hold the breath. And when you're ready, exhale 2 from the chest, from the ribs to the belly. Inhaling into the belly, into the ribs, into the upper chest. Hold the breath, that's 3. Exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 3. Inhale 4 into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest. Exhale, that's 4 from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Inhale 5 into the belly, the ribs, and the upper chest. Hold. When you're ready, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 5. When you're ready, inhale 6 into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Hold the breath. And when you're ready, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 6. Inhale when you're ready, 7 into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Hold. And when you're ready, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 7. Inhale into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. That's 8. Hold. And when you're ready, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 8. And then one more. Inhale into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Hold. And when you're ready, exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the belly. That's 9. And then just suspend your hands either to your lap or to your knees. Take a moment just noticing how you're feeling. Maybe bringing that word back to the forefront of your mind, whatever you picked. Say it several times. Still keeping the eyes closed, rub your hands together, create some warmth in the palms of the hands, placing them lightly on your closed eyes as you soothe your eyes. You can even tap with your fingers a little bit in the forehead, starting to transition. And then move the hands away from your face slowly as you slowly open your eyes at the same time, as you let a little bit of light in, like you're opening up a shade to a new day, a new moment in time, as we return back to this moment. And notice how you feel. So that whole practice from the beginning to the end was 4 minutes. Was there some sort of change for you? Just notice. If you liked it, then make it an effort to do this practice every day. You can do it as many times as you want during the day. And after a while, as soon as you say that word that you have picked, and try not to change it. I mean, you might have to first in the beginning to figure out the word that feels really good for you. As soon as you say that word, it's kind of like Pavlov's dog. You're going to go right into that space quicker. As soon as you bring your hands to your chest, even if it's one hand during the day, if you're really upset about something, your brain's going to go, oh, oxytocin, oh, love. So, and as soon as you bring your hands to your belly, the brain's going to go, oh, you're going to start to breathe fully and deeply. And then your body gets used to that. And it's just an easy, you can use it in little segments. So give it a go. Let me know how you do. And thank you for joining me. I'm trying to, try to get videos out as much as I can, but I really appreciate you showing up. And namaste to all of you. Be well.